Thank you so much for joining me. This is Isaac Ejekunsi from Entrepreneurship Digest. And today is the first day of Entrepreneurship Digest, officially launching its office at Canada workshop. It's all about how to leverage social selling for business growth. And we are lucky to have with us Mr. Adam Gray. He's the co-founder of DLA Ignite. So happy to have you all here.
Cool.
So to start with, I need to call the co-founder Entrepreneur Digest is a startup in Canada and it's by Mr. Isaac Ejekunsi and Mr. Pascal. So I'll call upon Mr. Pascal to introduce Entrepreneurship Digest and do the official launch.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Isaac. Appreciate the kind welcome. Just a quick word, just to introduce Entrepreneurship Digest. We decided to launch, a branch of our program here in Canada, even though we have an existing one in Bellingham, Washington. But we feel that there's a huge need to bring this, closer to this part of the world. And it's great to be able to find a place where we can actually connect with other people who are in the same space. And this is a great opportunity to be able to launch this first, broadcast we're having here at, here in beautiful Vancouver, BC, and having Adam Gray and of course the fellow founder, Isaac, to be part of this program is something that is quite laudable. And we're hoping that this will be one of many, collaborations to come. And we're giving and hoping that this will help us, branch out and put the word out there, especially when it comes to building entrepreneurs and helping people to understand, the world that we're living in and helping them to find resources to be able to scale their businesses and grow their companies. And this is exactly what we are focused on here at Entrepreneurship Digest.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pascal. This country, we are lucky to have you today. And it's going to lead us to understand the fundamentals of social selling for business growth. Mr. Adam, we are much grateful to have you today. And the floor is open for you to walk us through the journey of social selling. Thank you so much, sir. Please, you can start now.
Okay. So we've been helping organizations for nearly 8 years now. We've been helping organizations use social media as a tool to sell more. That's the big issue for many organizations today. But social media can be a great deal more than just a sales tool. So we do quite a lot of work with Telstra, the large Australian telco, and their head of marketing said the following. Becoming a social organization, it enables you to use social media as a platform for closing the distance between you and the people that you want to talk to. So clients, prospects, people you may hire in the future, your existing staff, particularly seeing as often these days, staff do not work in the office. And we talk to a lot of organizations, and normally they have 5 key issues that they're looking to address. And the first of them is being seen. The challenge for almost every organization is that they don't have deep enough pockets, they don't have enough budget to be able to dominate the marketing sphere to actually be seen in front of their target market. The next issue, is one of trust. The challenge for organizations is that until somebody has bought from you, it's just words. Everybody claims to be best. Everybody claims to be fantastic. Everybody claims to be the top performing organization. But the challenge is that every organization, every person is saying the same things. They're all claiming to be best. Finding and recruiting good people into your organization is, again, a big challenge. The challenge for many organizations is that they'll see somebody that they want to hire. That person will be an outstanding candidate, but often they will get multiple job offers. And even though you may be some distance down the hiring journey, that those people ultimately end up going somewhere else because they're being offered more. And one of the things that social enables you to do is to become the employer of choice. Many people, particularly since COVID, have a challenge in that their experience of work is now not being based in an office, but being based at home. So everybody works from home. Everybody is living in their spare bedroom as an office. And again, a problem that this creates is that you only feel that you are alone, that you're not part of something bigger than yourself, that you don't have a shared sense of purpose and destiny within an organization. And then lastly, revenue. Every company that we talk to, whether it's small or huge, has a lack of pipeline. And the challenge isn't just that they have no pipeline, is that they've got no mechanism for generating more pipeline reliably. So we all know that sales has changed. This is quite old research, but it's research that many sales leaders still relate to, that typically the buyer is over halfway through the buying journey before the seller knows that they exist. And the challenge is that in that first 57% of the buying journey, they're out, they're doing research, they're reading things, they're engaging with individuals, they're reading reviews, and they're forming opinions. And by the time that you, the seller, know that they exist, it's too late. They've already made the decision about who they're going to buy from. So this fact that there's now an empowered buyer is a big challenge for organizations, as is the fact that the complexity of the buying team has increased as well. So now there are 6, 7, 8, in some cases, if it's a very complex deal, there could be 100 people involved in the buying team. And one of the problems that creates is that it's very difficult to get a consensus of opinion, very difficult to get people to agree on what should happen. And the biggest challenge that organizations face now is not that the deal is going to be won by a competitor, but that there will be no deal, because people just decide not to do anything because it's too complicated for them to do so. So for most organizations, they don't actually make any decisions. They just sit and they hope things will get better. We'll keep doing the same marketing. We'll keep doing the same sales outreach. We'll keep doing all of those things that we've always done, but they don't work anymore. But the organizations tend not to have a better idea of what they can do. But the better idea is to be active on social and to create a compelling social strategy that means that people get to know you. Now, until maybe 5 years ago, you could argue that your customers were not on social. But the reality is now that if you look at everybody in the developed world, that's basically everybody with an internet connection, 92.7% of those people are active social media users, which means that everybody that we want to have a conversation with is accessible through social media. And what's really interesting is that those people are not just going there and posting pictures of their lunch. They're going and spending significant time on social media. So the average social media user spends 2.5 hours a day nearly every day on social media, having conversations, learning things. And 3/4 of those people spend some of their time doing brand research. And that brand research may well be which trainers are they going to buy or which car are they going to buy. But it's also what B2B service are they going to buy. So the reality is that from a selling perspective and a revenue generation perspective, everything has changed. Everything operates differently now to how it did in the past. So I'm sure you will all be familiar with Top Gear. And like so many TV shows, Top Gear began as one thing. It began as like a magazine. They would review a car, and next week they will review another car. And when you think about it, you would think about the cars they reviewed. But then it changed, and it became a program about experience. So now when you think about Top Gear, you don't think about the cars they drive. You think about the adventures they had. You think about where they go, what they did, all of those exciting things that happened in their journeys around the world. So does anybody know who this is? This is Supercar Blondie. She is the most influential automotive journalist in the world. So across all of her different social media channels, she has more than 60 million followers. And the end result of this is that all of the chief executives of large car companies want her to like their products. So she's based in Dubai, and they fly the cars out to Dubai for her to review. And if she doesn't like a car, They often change it significantly or don't put it into production because she is so powerful and her decisions are so important in terms of deciding whether or not they think a car is going to be popular. And what we see is that this is mirrored across every different sector. So if you think about Nike, the largest sports brand in the world, on Twitter, for example, they have 8.5 million followers nearly. But if they wanted to sell tennis gear, they're better off getting Serena Williams to do it for them because Serena Williams has 11 million followers rather than 8.5 million. If they want to sell basketball gear, they're better off talking to LeBron James because he's got 50 million followers. And if they want to sell soccer gear, they're better off talking to Ronaldo because he's got 95 million followers nearly. And something which is really shocking is that Ronaldo on Instagram has 7 times as many followers as every single one of the top 10 most valuable brands in the world combined. So this is staggering. This is absolutely unbelievable. You know, Apple is a company that's worth $3 trillion, and he's got 7 times as many followers as Apple and all of the other companies on here put together. So the reality is that personality is more important than brand. And we see this everywhere we look. So the first question you need to ask for yourself in business is, what do I want to be famous for? What do I want to be known for? So this is a client of ours, Sophie. She uses her profile on, this is LinkedIn, but it's the same on all social channels. She uses her profile really well. She's got an interesting bit at the top, you know, a nice image of her, a nice background, a nice headline. She's got some nice content on there. She engages with lots of people. She tells a nice story. And then she's got this fantastic history that she brings to her profile to make her seem credible and interesting. So people understand who she is, what she does, what kind of person she is, that she's somebody that they want to know and that they want to have a conversation with. And this is crucial because people are all really busy. They've got better things to do than decode what you say to work out what it is that you mean. So you have to be really clear about what you want people to know. So we were talking to an organization a while ago and we said to them, what do you want to be famous for? And they said, we want to be famous for software development. So there are a number of tools that do this, but we use a tool called Brand 24. So we looked at the most influential people for software development, and this was the list. And this company wasn't on the list. They said, yeah, it makes sense, the people that are on the list. You know, there's some journalists, there's some software companies, there's some magazines. We said, why aren't you on the list? And they said, well, I don't know. So they then posed the question to us, what do you want to be famous for? And we said, we want to be famous for digital selling. That's the most important thing for us. And they said, well, are you on the list? And we said, well, we've got a bit of a problem because for us to be famous for digital selling, there are lots of big companies that want to be famous for digital selling. And we're quite a small company. So we're in competition with Accenture, the largest consultancy in the world. And we're in competition with IBM, the oldest consultancy in the world. And we're in competition with McKinsey, the best regarded consultancy in the world. And between them, just those 3 companies have over 1 million employees. But despite that, when we look at who are the most influential people in digital selling, it's us. We are 12 of the top 20, including all of the top 9. So my point is that if we can be famous for this, if we can dominate this space, you too can dominate this space for what you want to be famous for. You know, what is it that you want people to know you for? Because there's no reason it can't be you that is equally dominant in your space. But the key thing for this is that you must stand out. You must look different. Because for most buyers, when they look into the space that you are occupying, the space that you want to be known for, this is what they see looking back. They see a load of people that look absolutely the same. Everybody is highly committed. Everybody is self-starting. Everybody is credible. Everybody is experienced. Everybody is passionate. They see all of that. And when they see that looking back, when they see that as being your industry, it doesn't matter who they choose. because they just simply don't care. So what you need to do is you need to think about how you can differentiate yourself. So there's a well-known psychological principle called Gestalt thinking. It's a psychological way that the brain operates. And the brain is very good at making patterns. So when it sees you and 15 competitors and you all look the same, there's a 1 in 16 chance of you being remembered. But if you make yourself look different, what happens is that the brain sees you and them. So you improve your odds from 1 in 16 to 1 in 2. Now, it doesn't mean that you get half of the work, but it does mean that you get remembered. And that's the first step in being recognized. And the problem is that when you go out into the world of social media, there are a lot of people. On LinkedIn, there are 975 million users. So the problem for this is that if you want to be business development manager, there are 2 million people called business development manager. And there are 6 million people called sales manager. And there are 46,000 people called head of communications and 7 million people called CEO. And even if you want to call yourself something like thought leader, there's still over 100,000 of those. So you're not standing out. So you need to find a way of looking different, a way of being remembered. But it's not impossible to do that. You know, what you do is you be yourself. You know, a nice photograph of you, a nice background image, a good headline that makes you look different from everyone else, whether you're customer facing or whether you're not customer facing, it doesn't matter. The point is that you need to be yourself. That's the best thing that you have. It's the best thing that anyone has. And one of these people looks a lot more attractive than this person that has a profile that contains nothing. It looks like they're actively trying to hide something rather than being themselves and being interesting. So you need to create a profile which is compelling and which is different and which tells a good story and makes you look as interesting as you are in real life. Like Sophie has done here, it's a lovely looking thing. It's a work of great passion and real interest. And then once you've done that, you just need to do 3 things with your time. Just 3 things to be successful. The first of them is grow your network. The challenge that most people have is that they have a number of connections, whether that's on LinkedIn or Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or whatever. They have a number of connections, and they tend to be legacy connections. They're based on where you've been rather than where you're going. So what you need to do is you need to grow your network in the places that you want to get influence. So if I want to sell to Unilever or to Oracle, it's going to be impossible for me to sell to Unilever because I've only got 2 connections in Unilever. So nobody in Unilever knows me. Doesn't matter what content I share and how good I am, I'm not going to get seen by the people that I need to be seen by. If, on the other hand, I want to sell into Oracle, I'm much more likely to be able to do it because I'm connected to lots of people in Oracle, which means there are lots of toeholds for me to get into the organization and start to have conversations there. And I see this every time I publish any piece of content, because every time I publish any piece of content, it gets seen by lots of people in Oracle and less people in those other organizations. So 88 people in Oracle saw this post, and only 13 people in RPC or 12 people in SAP saw that post. So we need to be really well connected into these organizations, and that's the starting point for being successful. The second thing we need to do is marketing. We need to market ourselves within the organization. We need to produce good content that people within the organization like and consume and engage with. And people have to click like on it. People have to leave comments on it. And the reason they have to do that is that we know within organizations everybody is really well connected together. And what you see on your newsfeed is the same as I see on my newsfeed. Half of the content you see is from people you're connected to, and half of the content you see is from people you're not connected to, and you're seeing it because people you are connected to are engaging with that content. They're liking it or commenting on it or loving it or sharing it. So you need to get people to take action. And because within an organization, lots of people are connected to lots of other people, when individuals within the organization start to engage with your content, lots of other people in the organization will see that content. And a great example of this about why you need to have a big network is here we've got two people that have shared pretty much the same thing. Sydney on the left has got a tiny network. Leanne on the right has got a really big network. And the end result is that nobody has engaged with Sydney's content, and lots of people have engaged with Leanne's content. So not only do we need a big network, though, we need to make sure that the content we're sharing is content which is going to engage the people that we want to engage. And we all know what this content is. On this hierarchy of content that works and content that doesn't work, and we've never seen this not be the case, stuff below the line doesn't really work. People don't care about advertising. People don't care about co-branding, and people don't care about your corporate content. The stuff above the line, that does work. So when you share content with your own story attached to it, with your own narrative, when you write something yourself, or when you share something personal, that's the bit that people love. So if we look at Sophie again, the nice thing about working with Sophie was that she let us see exactly how much success she was having with the different types of content that she was sharing. So she had traditionally shared this kind of content, boring corporate content. So she posted this and she got 2 likes and she got 48 views. She posted this and she got 3 likes and she got 399 views. She posted this and she got no likes and she got 10 views. Then she changed what she was going to post. She started to post more interesting, more personal, more Sophie-based content. So this was her first post. She got 320 likes and 30,000 views nearly. But she didn't just do it once. She did it every single post from then on. So she posts something one day, she gets 4,000 views and 50 likes. She posts something the next day, she gets 60 likes and 3,500 views. She posts something the next day, gets 40 likes and 2,000 views. So every day she's getting many, many, many more views and many, many, many more pieces of interaction on that content, because all of that content is about her. And what we see is that this not only is reflected in the content that she's sharing, it's reflected in how many people are looking at her. So prior to behaving this way, she was sharing content that nobody really cared about her sharing it. So she would share something, somebody would see it, and they wouldn't bother to look at her profile. She would share something else, and they would see it, and they wouldn't bother to look at her profile. Then she started to share great content, and lots of people looked at her profile, which meant lots of people went to that great profile that had all of that interesting content on it, and then learnt about her and learnt about what it was that she did, and thought about why they should have a conversation with her and why they should buy from her. But the key thing is, to be successful in business, you don't need one Sophie. You need everybody to be a Sophie. So the fact that she shares this kind of content all the time is great. But what you need is for everybody in the team to share this kind of content. Everybody in the team to be sharing content that is designed to engage their audience. You know, whether that's a picture of you out with your dog, or the fact that your son's got his prom, or you read something really interesting, or you grow your own vegetables, or the things that people do in their lives is the things that people can relate to. Nobody cares about your accountancy software. Nobody cares about the fact that you've got you do a new type of sales consultancy. Nobody cares. And that's reflected not just in how many people view your content, but it's reflected in how many people engage with your content. But the key reason that this is powerful getting the people within the organization to share content is quite well typified by IBM. So as an organization on Twitter, they've got 500,000 followers, which is great. Brilliant. 500,000 followers. The problem is that they've got 350,000 people that work within the organization. So actually 500,000 followers against that sort of scale is not that many. So if everybody in the organization shared interesting personal content and each person in the organization just had 10 followers, what that would mean is that they'd have 3.5 million views of every piece of content, because all of those 10 people would be the 10 people that loved them the most. They'd be brothers and sisters and spouses and best friends from university, all of the people that ultimately would be buyers of IBM products potentially, but 3.5 million of them. And they would engage with the content rather than 500,000 who probably don't engage with the content. So mobilizing the staff within your organization is absolutely crucial. So we've got first thing, network, second thing, marketing, and third thing, conversations. And conversations are what it's all about. You know, it's great that when I post something, it's seen by loads of people in Oracle. The problem is that I don't know who the people in Oracle are. 88 people have viewed this post. Oracle's a company of 200,000 people, so I've no idea who the 88 people are. So whilst it's nice to know that the content is potentially landing in the right place, there's nothing that I can do with that from a sales perspective. Because let's be honest, people don't just pick up the phone and buy from you. You have to go and sell what it is you want to sell to these people. So 88 people from Oracle viewing my content is of no value. People liking my content is of value though. And the reason it is because I know exactly who they are. So when I post something, like when you post something, there are two types of people that like your content. There's people you're connected to. So every one of those people I can send a message to. I can say, "Hi Jerry, thanks for liking yesterday's content. We've not spoken for ages. Do you fancy having a chat?" Then I can send exactly the same things to Odessa. "Hi Odessa, thanks for liking yesterday's content. We've not spoken for ages. Do you want to have a chat?" "Hi Victoria. Hi Kevin. Hi Paul. Hi Sandy." All of those people get a note saying, "Do you want to have a chat because you liked yesterday's content and it's reminded me we've not spoken for a while." Then there's the people that I'm not connected to that have liked my content. Now all of those people, I'm going to send them a connection request because I want to make sure they see the next piece of content as well. So Anadi, Donna, Raja, Joyce, Thomas, all of those people, thanks for liking yesterday's content. We're not connected. I had a look at your profile, looks really good. Is it okay if we connect? Because then I'm going to make sure that those people see my content in the future. Because I know that if those people like, by like, I don't mean like, I mean like as in click like on it. If those people like my content, then there's a good chance that other people they're connected to will also see my content. So every one of those is an opportunity for me to have a conversation with somebody. But for all of you guys, you can also go to the people you're already connected to. So everybody that you're connected to, you can send them a note that says, "Hi Angela, we've been connected, in this case, for 11 months. I don't think we've ever spoken. Be great to have a chat." Now, if you're selling training shoes, you don't need to talk to somebody to sell them. If you're selling something which is complex, a business-to-business purchase, you do need to talk to them because every sale comes from having a conversation with somebody. And you can just work your way through all of the connections you have. If you've got 500, that's 500 people you can ask for a call. And let's be honest, you're not exactly pouncing on them if you've been connected for 2 years and you've never asked them for a call. Just drop them a line saying, "Shall we have a call?" If you've got 500, 20% will say yes. If you've got 5,000, 20% will say yes. If you've got 50,000, 20% will say yes. So the nice thing about that is you've got as many calls as you want to have simply by asking people for a call. So when Sophie does a post like this, the great thing is there's loads of people that she can ask for a call. There's 320 people there that she could drop a note to saying, "Hi Sophie, Thank you. Hi, thanks for liking the post yesterday. Is it okay if we have a chat? And it's all about conversations. Anything you sell is going to come from having a conversation with somebody. So what we need to do is we just need to sell conversations. The other opportunity you have to have a conversation is when you first connect to somebody. Not a sales conversation, just a conversation. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are doing that in a strategic way. So if I'm looking to connect to people, I want to connect to head of marketing within a certain company. I can't just connect to every head of marketing because look, there's 4.5 million of them. I can't connect to 4.5 million people. But even if you've got the basic version of LinkedIn, you can refine that search. So I can go from 4.5 million heads of marketing to a particular region, to a particular company, and get a small number, 136 in this case, and I can connect to all of those people. And to show you how easy that is, here's an example of what I did in 1 hour. I sent 129 connection requests. And by the end of that hour, 26 of those people had already accepted. And every single one of those people I asked to have a call. So over a 3-week period, I sent 308 connection requests. By the end of the 3 weeks, 163 people had already accepted. I asked 115 for a call, and 24 of them said yes. Now, the really important thing about this is because those people, I had asked them on LinkedIn, they had already looked at my profile, decided that I was an interesting person because I've got a really good profile, thought this is somebody that looks interesting, this is somebody that might be able to help us. 24 calls converted into 20 qualified opportunities. 20 people that I thought were going to do business with me. Now, for most of the organizations that we talk to, they're not able to generate very many qualified opportunities because what they're doing is stuff which is turning people off rather than turning people on. Constantly spamming them with emails, constantly spamming them with cold calls. So success comes from just doing these 3 things. Once you've created your great profile, just 3 things you need to do. First one, network. Grow your network. Think about where you want your network to be. Think about what companies you're trying to penetrate and connect into those companies, what regions you're trying to penetrate, what verticals you're trying to penetrate, and connect to lots of people in that space. The second thing is marketing. Share good content, content that activates your audience, content that your audience likes. If you publish something and nobody likes it, it's because they don't like your content. So publish something else next time. But as a general rule, content about you will always be more successful than content about what you do because you are the secret sauce. You are the unique selling proposition. You are the only thing that everyone in your network has in common. And then lastly, sell. Turn that interaction into a conversation with somebody and see where the conversation goes. And then how successful you are is just a case of rinse and repeat. You just keep doing this over and over and over again. But the beauty of this is that when you've got a great profile and you connect to lots of people, you engage those people by liking some of their content and by encouraging them to like some of your content. You publish good content, and the good content you publish makes your profile look better. So then when you go to grow your network, you look better than you did. So it's easier to grow your network. And because your network's bigger and you look better than you did, it's easier to engage people in a conversation. And because you've got more people out there in your audience, it's worth you then creating more content and sharing it, which in turn makes your profile look better. And really, success in this space is as simple as that. There is, however, a big difference between simple and easy. And like getting fit, like eating healthily, this requires diligence and focus and recognition that I'm going in this direction and that's what I need to do. So, does anybody have any questions?
Are we doing questions?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Please do, Jerome.
Okay. Well, Adam, thank you. That was, great information. I had to pop in and out because I thought we were doing this at 12. Maybe it was a time difference that put 3 o'clock. But as you were talking about the content and you were saying that the content about me personally will be more engaging and attractive to other people in the market. I understand where you're coming from because it's more personal and more relevant. And so, one of the things that I've been doing recently is I've been sharing on a daily basis a different tip. Tuesday is Tech Tip Tuesday, but they're all coming from me. My picture's on them, so it's not just a
cool.
Monday's a motivation day, Friday's about faith, and Thursday's about leadership, and Wednesday's about wealth. But they all come from me, and is that, an example or a good example or a bad example of what you think may be the kind of content that could be attractive?
Well, all of that is valuable content, and you shouldn't stop doing that. But maybe try some stuff genuinely about you.
Okay.
So what do you do when you're not at work?
Sure. I'm at work a lot, but I try to work out. I go to festivals. I love concerts and
what's better than you're at a festival and you take a photo of you with the audience behind you, going, check this out. Yeah. I'm at a festival. Post that and watch what happens.
Sure.
So I was talking to a guy who worked at a tech company actually, and he was sharing loads and loads and loads of just boring rubbish. And, we were and he had quite a big audience. He had like 2,500 connections. And like he was getting 2 or 3 or 5 likes, and most of those likes were coming from his company. We were having a chat and he said, so what should I share? And I said, what do you do, in your spare time? And he's like, well, I don't really do anything interesting, but one of my kids they're training to be a paddy diver. I said, all right, that's really interesting. Have you got any photos of that? And he's like, yeah, I've got some photos of my son doing his diving. And I said, put one of those up and see what happens. So he took a picture of his son just coming out of the water with all of his frogman gear on. And he said, this is my son. He's at level whatever paddy diver, and he wants to be a deep sea diver when he grows up. And in an hour, he had like 450 likes on this. So he phoned me up and he's like, oh my God, you won't believe what's happened. I think, yeah, I will. Because actually that's the thing. And if you don't believe that that's going to work, look at the stuff that you've engaged with. When I share something about, we've got a new bit of software, you don't care. When I say I've got a new job, you do care. When I say I'm getting on a plane, you do care. When I say, here's me out walking on the beach with the dogs, you do care. And you care because those are the things that you've dropped a like on.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I was just sitting remembering a couple of years ago on LinkedIn, my kids, I think it was Parents' Day or something.
Yeah.
And I'm a single parent, and I did a post, about my kids and how proud I was of them, and had a picture of the 3 of us, so totally personal. My God. I mean, it was by far nowhere near close to number of likes, comments, reposts. I mean, I'm really into the 4 figures in terms of likes, of views.
Yeah.
And probably several hundred likes and over 100 comments. And from people that I knew, didn't know, whatever. So I hear you, what you're saying.
So try to do more of that. And the success will come from you using that as a reason to have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Because if I send you a message that says, hi, I've searched on LinkedIn and I found you, I'd like to have a conversation with you about this, you won't say yes. If I say, I'd like to have a conversation with you because I saw your post, it's like you've initiated that. It's like if I say to you, can we meet for coffee so I can tell you what I do?
Yeah, nobody responds.
Yeah. Can we meet for coffee so you can tell me what you do?
Sure.
Yeah, please. I'd like that.
Okay.
You know, and so it's always about making it as unthreatening as possible for people.
Sure.
And you know, so to show you that stuff won't sell itself. The company that we've done loads of work with, Telstra, one of the guys there, he lives quite a long way from London, and he's recently moved there to the country. And his local station is a city called Exeter, which is where Penguin Books was founded, like 150 years ago.
Okay.
And on the platform, they have a Penguin book vending machine. So you can go and you put your money in and get out one of the most popular Penguin books of all time. So he posted a picture of that with a little story about the fact that Penguin was there. And it had 6.5 million views and 37,000 likes and like 5,000 comments. No inbound. Nobody messaged him off the back of that saying, and I'd like to buy some security software, please. Nobody. Because actually, that's not how the world works. You know, if you think someone is going to do your job for you, it ain't going to happen. But you can use every one of these things. You know, when you post something and it gets 10 likes, that's 10 people that you can send a message to saying, thank you for liking the post yesterday. I'd love to have a chat with you because we've not spoken for a while. Sure. And loads of those people will say yes.
Gotcha. Good stuff.
But it's like you know, you said about going to the gym. You know, you like to work out. So I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and then I'll be fit, won't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like this. Yeah. It takes a while. You know, because it's like you may get lucky. You know, you may post something, and you may message someone, and they may say, "Yes, I'd like to buy from you," and give you $1 million. Yeah. But luck is never a good strategy in business.
No.
So does anyone else have any questions?
I want to ask a question of, I guess, the guy who has the Entrepreneurship Digest as his name. Because I picked up obviously on the accent, and I heard Canada a couple of times. Are you guys in? Is this coming out of Canada?
Well, I'm in London.
You're in London? Yes. Okay. So everybody coming out of London?
I'm in Vancouver, BC.
Okay. All right. Well, the guy I asked about, he stays on mute, so you got to unmute if you're going to talk to me, bro. Unmute. You got to unmute, bro.
Hello.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay.
This Entrepreneurship Digest, I did share about what we do with you on the chat, in the chat. And basically, we try to help people develop their ideas, execute it, and also leverage on other strategies to grow their businesses. So we leverage on our network all over the world with top industry players. We bring them on board for some of our workshops and conferences, and also our strategic services, so that they can offer support to businesses across Canada and USA and other parts of Africa.
Okay.
So that's what we do at Entrepreneurship Digest. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Well, the reason why I asked is that my company is called the ICABA World Network. It's spelled ICABA World Network. And we've been around since 2009, and we launched in 2021 Black Professionals Month in October, so that means it's going on right now. And to your point, Adam, I was on the main stage with the CEO of Black Enterprise presenting at a fireside chat yesterday morning at 9 a.m. And as I drove back from the hotel this morning, I said, geez, you should have taken some pictures and posted them on social media. I am, and my team, you know, they always kind of like want to put a bullet in my head because I'm always doing things like that, but I never think about taking, and I took pictures with the guy, you know, so I didn't even say, here, somebody take my phone and take a picture. So I've got to get better at that, because I do have a lot of opportunities for content that I think is probably more engaging, you know, like that personally. But the reason I bring it up is that I'd love to connect with you. I think there is some alignment in terms of what you guys are doing at Entrepreneurship Digest and what, my company is doing as well. We've got a online ecosystem for Black professionals and entrepreneurs. And, so we have a marketplace, which is basically, kind of like LinkedIn, and a community, which is like Facebook. And we do events and webinars, and we have programs and so on and so forth. That's all about helping Black professionals and entrepreneurs to succeed, lead, and prosper. So if you're interested, let's connect.
That is so wonderful from you. So I'll allow my co-founder, Mr. Pascal, to speak to that. And I think after the call, I will take your email to reach out to you officially and see how we can collaborate or partner together for success.
Sure. Well, I'm putting my information in here right now. And just for the record, so to speak, Black Professionals Month is a global initiative. So it's not just a U.S. thing.
I've seen that. So I've taken note of it, and we will write you an official email. Then we can have conversation from there. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. So I just put my email address and our website into the chat, and if anybody wants to put theirs in there, I'll copy it, and we'll connect offline.
Well, I'll leave you guys to it. The lady from Pure Juicing Joy, you need to take loads of photos when you make a fantastic smoothie for somebody, and with them smiling, and you need to be all over Instagram with that. That will be your thing. So,
Adam,
yes.
Before you go, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What you were saying to her. Please finish. I didn't mean to interrupt. I think you.
No. I'm glad you did. It could have sounded like I was hitting on her, which I wasn't meaning to.
Okay. All right. Well, she's a beautiful woman, so she's probably used to it. But anyway, Adam, what I was going to say to you is that we do a lot of webinars in terms of collaboration with different individuals, companies, organizations, and I'd love to connect with you as well.
I've just sent you a connection request on LinkedIn, so we can,
fantastic.
And okay. you can reach out to me.
Sure, good deal.
Cool. So thank you all very much.
Sorry, I just want to ask a quick question before we go. So you mentioned something about utilizing the moment. So like if you made a post and it gets a lot of engagement, but there was something missing, like if you had a link, to your store and you didn't put it in there, and so you couldn't really leverage that exposure. What would have been the right thing to do in terms of utilizing, that exposure, that reach effectively?
Okay, well, I think these days it's fair to say that people don't like to be sold to.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've ever been to a what's his name? The big guy who does Tony Robbins. If you've ever been to a Tony Robbins one-day seminar, he's magnificent. So he gets up on stage and he says, you're worth it. You can do anything you want. You're wonderful. And you start to feel really good about yourself. And then he says, so if you want to do more, you can come on my 3-day intensive workshop, and it's $2,500. And you think, oh, God, what'd you do that for? You feel that you've been played. And the problem is that nowadays you can get all of the information that you want for free. And the fact that you tell me whatever it is you do, you tell me you're really good at it. Everybody tells you they're really good at it. Every one of your competitors, whether you're doing 3D printing or making smoothies or consulting, or everyone says they're really good. Nobody ever says we're the 4th best. We're always a little bit late. We're not particularly reliable. No one ever says that. Everyone says they're good. So when you say it doesn't mean anything. So what you have to do is you have to spend time and invest in winning people's trust. And that takes time to do. So the beauty of social is that it enables you to scale the things that you used to have to do face to face. So, you used to have to go to a networking event and you used to have to meet 20 people or 50 people. And you still have to go back next week and the week after and the week after. Now you can do it and you can meet hundreds of people or thousands of people or millions of people as often as you want. And what you need to do is you need to make sure that when somebody expresses interest in what it is you do, whether that's by dropping a like or a comment or engaging with stuff or looking at your profile, all of those things, you need to try to turn that into a conversation. And in the conversation, you just do exactly the same thing that you would do if you met them in a coffee shop. You know, you don't ever walk up to someone or someone in a coffee shop says, "Oh yeah, what are you getting?" And you say, "I'm getting a cappuccino and incidentally I sell phones. Let me show you some of the phones." You don't say that. That's not how business is done. You know, you chat to them, you get to know them, you get to build some sort of relationship with them, and then maybe they'll buy, maybe they won't. So you shouldn't try to put a call to action. You should just use it as a mechanism for connecting to people and really building some sort of relationship with them.
Thank you very much. I think that's clear. Yeah, it's great to know. Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you. And good luck, everybody. And I hope see you all again soon. And ping me, Jerome, and we'll have a chat.
All right. Well, actually, I just tried to. I don't know. Are you open for connections? I've got the premium, so but it looked like you didn't even have your followers up on your LinkedIn page.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sent you a connection request.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to do it before you sent it. That's why I was asking. So you've already sent one. I will follow right back to you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for your time.
Have a great day, everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is the first day of Entrepreneurship officially launching its office at Canada. That is British Columbia, Vancouver. And over the days, we are going to bring a series of events or programs to help our network. So we'll be communicating with everybody on email. If we have your email, we'll communicate to you. And we are also going to engage several ways to reach out to our audience. You can search for Entrepreneur Digest on LinkedIn, on any other social media. And you can also check our website, www.entrepreneurshipdigest.com. So if you have any question, if you have any contribution, you can reach out to our social media handles and our website and can reach out to you. Thank you so much, and we love you, and we say we might appreciate your time, your resources, everything that